And change begins. I was on my way to speak at Alabama A&M, and I was listening to an audio series on personal growth. And John Maxwell asked his father years ago, he was a minister, he said, why is it that some people are so successful? And the answer was simple: because they think differently. And that's what this book is about, is to get you to think differently. While most people are focused on the problem, you need to focus on the possibilities. So the book, it shows you how to program yourself for success, because we've got to begin to think differently. Because in order for things to change, we must change. So, you know, those who won't read the book, then we came up with the CD. We say, okay, let's come up with a CD, okay? Some people won't go to seminars, some people won't read a book. So we came up with a CD, and we put the music behind the motivational words. So now you can, you know, have a little music and, you know, get your groove on and bob your head while you listen to a little motivation to get you going. So we want to have something for everyone, because I think it's important. You've got to feed your mind, because your input does determine your output, and your input determines your income. You've got to create a mindset. See, in order to have a wealthy wallet, you've got to first of all have a wealthy mindset. That's where it begins.
And, you know, you're so right about that. And I'm just like, I was just so pleased to have you on the show, and you sharing this information. I'm like, people out here need to hear this stuff.
Thank you.
And like you said, across music, that's great. That's good stuff, because like you said, a lot of people, they listen to a lot of the radio, these music videos, and subconsciously we take things in. We don't know we're doing it. So why don't we put something positive in and subconsciously take that in? Because I believe that our minds are like computers. You know how you drive home sometimes, you get home, you're like, how did I get there? You're not realizing that you kind of like on autopilot. I call it autopilot. And when you, that's like the subconscious mind working. And when you input in those certain things, like those music videos and those music songs, why don't you input something positive in there as well? You know, plant positive seeds in your mind, because eventually you're going to subconsciously take it in, and then you're going to become autopilot. And then you're going to be wondering, like, some people don't even know they're doing something, and they're doing it because the subconscious mind has taken over, and you're on autopilot. So autopilot yourself to positivity. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Put that good stuff in you.
And
it will eventually second nature. It becomes very natural to you. So.
And that is so true what you just said. Many times we are on autopilot and we don't even realize it. Like, for example, how did we learn how to speak English? You know, right now, if you don't know Spanish, if you hang around people who know Spanish, you will eventually pick up the language, right? So what I'm saying is that if you want to pick up the language of success, if you want to pick up the language of entrepreneurs, if you want to pick up the language of people who are making millions of dollars, hang around those people. You will begin to think, and you will begin to pick up their language, to pick up their habits. See, motivation gets you going, but habits will keep you going. See, there's certain things that successful people do. They have certain habits. So what we've got to do is learn those habits that will create success in our life. You know, so what habits do we need to pick up? And I talk about that in the book. There are certain habits that we need in order to take us from the next level. Certain habits that we have will bring us down. It will sabotage our greatness. So we've got to pick up habits of winners.
You know, I always ask this. This is a question I want to ask you. You could have been anything in the world. Like, you could have probably had aspirations of being one thing or another. Why a motivational speaker? Why?
That's a good question, and I really like that, and thank you for answering that. Growing up, at first my goal was to be an architect, and then my goal was to become an engineer, and then a software engineer working with NASA, and I did that. And it was great, man. And coming out of school, my first job was with IBM, you know, wearing the suit to work, and, you know, I thought I had arrived. And basically, I'll be honest with you, I did it for the money. Because I knew coming out of school I could get a good job with IBM, have job security, so-called job security, and that was my goal. But now I have found my passion. If I could do anything in the world, this is it. This is what I would do. So I am lucky I have found my passion. Speaking, training, traveling, teaching, speaking to organizations, government agencies, universities, schools on peak performance, motivation, customer service, leadership, team building, change management. I found my passion. This is it. And I remember coming out of school, years ago. And my counselor, I told her I wanted to go into communications. I wanted to be on radio and TV. And at that time she said, Mike, you know, there are no opportunities there. Go into something where you won't have to worry about finding a job, like engineering. And I did that. But you know, I've come full circle now. Now I'm doing the radio, I'm doing the TV, I'm writing for magazines like Black Enterprise Magazine. So I've come full circle. And this is what I love to do. I can do this any day, every day, 24 hours a week. You can wake me up in the middle of the night and I'll say, where are they? I'm ready.
You're ready, you're ready. Well, thank you for that. What we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna go to a break and we're gonna come right back with Mike Howard, taking you from ordinary to extraordinary. And we're going to go to the chat room because I know it's blowing up right now and people want to ask questions. So that's where we're going next. So stay tuned. In Atlanta, Georgia, Sunseeker Studios, Oak Cliffs, we back again. Well, like I said, the chat room. We got questions. It's been blowing up. So we're about to go to some questions in the chat room. And Chelsea is the lady with all the questions.
The first one is for you, Tasha. What inspires you and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
What inspires Tasha Reid and where I see myself in 5 years? That's a good question. I actually see myself as a humanitarian. I like to do a lot of giving back. This show is, I see my show really taking off and really doing really well. And then like Oprah status, Tyra Banks status, you know, in 5 years from now, maybe sooner. So I see myself as a talk show host, having my own television show, but a lot of giving back. I want to give back. And this show is just a give back in another form. And just helping other people to get to where they want to be in life. And writing books, maybe featuring in some motivational movie. Anybody out there that's looking to do a movie on motivation or inspiration, maybe I can play that character. So those kind of things. That's what I see myself 5 years from now.
This question is for Mike. When talking about starting something of your own, what advice would you give to someone who is unsure of what their niche may be?
Oh, very good question. This is what I recommend. Find your passion. First of all, find something. And people say, well, how do I find my passion? Start doing something. See, there are certain things that I did that I knew that was not my passion, right? I knew when I worked at IBM, that was not my passion. So as you begin to expand, you're going to start to find what your passion is. Now, this is also what I recommend. Begin to read books about other successful people. Read books about entrepreneurs. Find out what is it that they're doing, because the more exposure, as you expose yourself, you expose your mind, you expand your possibilities. So as you begin to read about other successful people, what you're going to do is that you're going to start to see ideas, because ideas breed ideas. Okay? Success breeds success. So as you begin to read about other entrepreneurs and look at magazines like Entrepreneur Magazine, Success Magazines, you're going to expose yourself to different business opportunities, and that's going to help you to expand your possibilities.
Awesome.